Hi there, welcome to Roving Gardens. Now we're in January now, and so you'll notice that snowdrops are really beginning to look at their best. Now you can plant these when they're dry bulbs, often in kind of late summer or early autumn, but they don't really tend to establish very well from bulbs, unlike daffodils and tulips, etc. So counterintuitively, the best time to lift them or divide them or even plant them is when they're in active growth or in the green. This is any time between January into late February. Doesn't matter if they're flowering or if they finish flowering, as long as they're in growth, you can lift them up, divide them up and replant them, and they'll establish really, really well. So I've got a clump of snowdrops here, which I kind of want to remove around the garden. It's a very easy job. Get a spade, pull it into the ground, make sure you push down deep enough to get to the bottom of the bulb. You don't want to cut the plant off the bulb, so go as deep into the ground as you can, kind of go round the clump so it lifts out cleanly. Once you've dug around it, come back in, lift the clump, and here break off any kind of excess soil. And I'll bring it up closer. You can see it's a lovely clump of snowdrops here, and as you take away the excess soil, you've got two options. You can either use the spade to slice through the clump, which I find quite cumbersome, or you can kind of manipulate the clump, and what you'll gently do, as you're careful, is begin to break away bulbs, and then you end up with more clumps. So this is a good clump here. It's probably 3 or 4 plants here, and if you plant that, you can kind of see where the soil will go to. So you want, if you see the bulb here, you want 2 or 3 inches of soil above the bulb. You don't want to plant them too deep. I find if you plant them too deep, they don't tend to come back up. So if you can find the perfect level, like I said, 2 or 3 inches from the bulb, find a place in the garden, replant this clump, and you can multiply your stock. You can even get more clumps out of this. So it's a really good way of propagating snowdrops at this time of year, and they'll establish, they'll flower into next year, and it's a really good way, as I've said, to multiply your stock. So it does seem a little bit counterintuitive to this time of year when they're actively growing, but they're really, really hardy and resilient, and they do actually thrive if you divide them up and replant snowdrops when they're in the green.